Здравствуйте. В эфире очередной выпуск программы Colors of Asia.
Hello, the next issue of the program Colors of Asia is on the air. Today, our show is dedicated to theatrical art. It lives, thrives, it is difficult to imagine us and our life without it. We all know that any performance is a collective work which unites people of different professions and specialties. But still, the director of the play is the king on the set. Practically everything depends on his ideas, intentions, and sometimes even his mood. And our first hero is the greatest of the greatest in Azerbaijan. Her name has become to some extent a national brand because she is considered to be director from God. And every season, the audience is looking forward to her next premiere in order to learn something new.
Дабы познать для себя нечто новое и прекрасное.
There has always been a great interest in theater art in Azerbaijan. Here, many believe that theater is a magical world that is full of secrets. This is a universe that you need to know, love, and understand. In 2018, the Azerbaijan theater turned 145 years old. And according to the tradition, each new season is solemnly opened in the Republic. And in the theaters themselves, there is a special creative atmosphere. Mehriban Alakperzadeh is a famous scriptwriter, director of theater, film and television in the country. In the fall of 2018, especially for the opening of the new theater season, she decided to present theatergoers and critics with several premieres. And as always, it was a surprise. For some time now, Mehriban has been the main director of the theater with the rather curious name Yuk. What does it mean? This is a snow and performance and ritual ceremony. Perhaps that's why it was precisely on this stage that it was decided to stage the play Three Versions of the Mysterious Murder, based on the novel by the Japanese writer Ryunosuke Akutagawa. I'm a big fan of Akutagawa. It seems to me that today the search for absolute truth is given a very important meaning. Frankly, this work gave me the opportunity to show that there is no such thing as absolute truth in the world. Akutagawa has a very good approach to this issue. He thought you shouldn't give a reader a certain direction. Reader must have a choice. He needs to find his own absolute truth. And this is the essence of the main line of this production. In the performance, we'll look at one event from three different sides. The murder happened, there are three participants, but each of them has their own truth. In many opinions, the search for truth in the theater should reach elogism. This performance teaches us that we shouldn't believe all that we hear. We need to know how to find our truth in what we see. In many countries, along with traditional dramatic theaters, there are also small ones, distinguished by their non-standard approach to expressing and displaying one or another author's ideas on the stage. As for the theater Yuk, retaining the so-called classics of the genre, it leaves some room for creative experiments. The spectator who came here is not surprised if suddenly during the performance any actor suddenly turns to him. Theater scholars celebrate the success of the style, which is practiced in many theaters of the world. Every time we strive to bring innovation to our audience, without departing from traditional forms, to turn to psychophilosophical poetics, epic styles. In this theater, there is a ruthless system of presentation by Antonion Artaud. Here we are looking for and find communications that in any case will become the vanguard. Innovations that this theater creates may not yet be marked with theatrical terms, but we are experimenting, we're testing them in practice. This Yuk is different from others, and this is what makes it original. And this is what we need to preserve. Speaking about the audience interest in theatrical art, Mehriban Alakperzadeh believes that considering the audience taste in creating a performance is absolutely wrong. Now there is a completely different atmosphere in the world. In her opinion, the theater should not be fun for the audience. It should show and talk about the most relevant, necessary, important issues. That's when it reaches its goal. In an interview with the Colors of Asia program, she also talked about what critics think about her premiere and the experimental theater. I was pleased that after the premiere, critics noted that they could read the performance, because usually in directorial performances, Reading of a production can be difficult. But what is interesting is that they noticed even the inconspicuous strokes that I left in this performance. However, it would be wrong to seek here the traditions of the Japanese theater. So far, I have only used Japanese literature in the Azerbaijan theater, but not their theatrical style. To use the classical form of the Japanese theater in the Azerbaijan theater, you need at least 4 or even 5 years. Another premiere of Mehriban Alakperzadeh caused delight and approval from the public. This time on the stage of the Azerbaijan State Musical Theater, The Light of My Eyes, Ceyhun, this is the name of this performance, and it's dedicated to the publicist and translator Ceyhun Jibek. His tragic fate in life in exile. Despite the fact that the production itself is made in the classical style, it's hard not to notice the innovative methods that Mehriban is famous for. It was a presentation of the personality of Ceyhun Jibek. This was also directing production, but a large acting troupe played here. 30 actors perform on stage with a choir and musical group. This is more monumental work for me. Today, there is a perception that contemporary theater art has strongly moved towards performance. Some believe that it's fashionable, cool, and relevant. But I think not always and not everywhere. Although I agree that experiments are needed. Without them, our life would be boring and not as exciting. For some time now, performance has been practiced in the theaters of Bishkek. And it seems that the first chick didn't land with a thud. The play Song for Chingiz, staged by Italian director Andrea Benallo, raises the eternal question of choice and responsibility for words, actions, and deeds, and of course before God, people, and yourself. For the basis of the production, the director took such works by the great Chingiz Aytmatov as The Scaffold, The Cassandra Brand, White Cloud of Genghis Khan, When the Mountains Fall, The Pied Dog Running on the Edge of the Sea. At the same time, he managed to unite them into a single line that will surely affect more than one string of a complex human soul.
Режиссер приехал с Италии поставить спектакль-перформанс Андреа Бенаglio.
Director Andrea Benallo came from Italy to stage a performance, and when he arrived, he had an idea to stage a play about Chingiz Aytmatov based on his works, plays and novels. The director was most affected by the work Scaffold, and he wanted to stage Scaffold in the traditional classic way. And only before coming here, suddenly a thought was born in his head that you can make a mix. You can take his other works and make a sophisticated product out of it. And he succeeded.
Можно ведь и микс сделать, можно и другие произведения взять и из этого сделать вкусный продукт. Ну, мне кажется, у него это получилось.
Нет Бога, кроме меня.
In the performance, the public will not see familiar images from the works of the great writer. Here, the actors themselves create the structure of the performance. That is, the faces and heroes appear monumental and episodic as if from nowhere, leading the viewer to high reflections, questions, and maybe to answers. By the way, this performance genre has long been a success in Europe and America. And now advanced theater genres and forms have appeared in Chingiz Aytmatov's homeland, on the stage of the Russian drama theater named after him. And all this thanks to the joint work of the troupe of the theater and the director from Italy.
Тут очень сильные темы для размышления. Это и религия, это и свое отношение к жизни, к этому мирозданию.
There are very strong topics for reflection. This is religion, this is also an attitude toward life, the universe. It contains everything. After all, everyone has their own understanding of life, how it should be and how it should unfold in this world, understand it. There is no concrete yes when we talk about religion or freedom of choice. There is no such specific message. But what is so wonderful in this performance that Andrea put it in such a way that there is nothing unequivocal. Every viewer will see a problem for himself, every viewer will understand everything as far as his experience goes. Everyone sees their problems and probably tries to somehow solve and understand them to get to know themselves even more deeply.
Наверное, старается их как-то решить и понять, еще как-то глубже в себя нырнуть.
Creativity of Chingiz Aytmatov is a great classic. Sometimes it's possible to learn from them what the world expects in the future. In the production of the Song of Chingiz, there is everything: memory, dignity, and honor. In a word, everything that the Kyrgyz audience can be proud of when they will immerse themselves in the production. I really want as many people as possible to see this performance. I want the audience to come and culturally enrich themselves. Of course, there is a lot of excitement before every performance on the stage, and it's quite natural. After all, communicating with the public, the actor does not just tell a story, but tries to convey his emotions and feelings. Therefore, it's very important to be sincere. The artists involved in this performance note, we must try to make every viewer feel in your shoes, live the life of your hero or character, and understand it.
Наверное, это то волнение, которое как раз является наркотиком своего.
Probably this is the excitement, some kind of drug, in this performance especially, because we are very, very close to the viewer. Our stage is located close to the viewer, so that we hear what they're whispering about. And this is excitement. When mixed voices come into the hall, it all overflows and covers you like a huge wave.
И накрывает огромной волной просто.
In 2018, writer Chingiz Aytmatov would have turned 90 years old. And this year, the idea of implementing the production of Song of Genghis, a very interesting coincidence. Although, according to the director Andrea Benalo, these two facts are in no way connected with each other. Well, it remains to wish the actors and the whole team who is working on the performance good luck. Don't stop there and continue to delight the audience with new works.
А сейчас мы расскажем вам еще об одном эксперименте.
And now I want to tell you about one more experiment. Well-known in Kazakhstan actor and director Anton Mitnev again decided to please the audience with a regular production. And this time the most popular musical. Why? Because the main characters, more precisely the actors, on the stage are non-professionals, people, as they say, from the street, who once came to the casting in order to take a chance to show themselves, to reveal their talent for everyone to see and hear. The atmosphere during filming at the dance studio of Konstantin Tikhnov in Almaty was extremely lively. The young people gathered here did not hide their excitement. And it's no coincidence because literally in a few minutes a strict jury will announce the results of the casting. And for some of these people, life will change at 180 degrees. And they will become participants in the new rock musical, 3 Houses with Windows to the Courtyard. If I pass this casting, then I will be happy, because at the moment, this is the most important thing for me. The strongest will survive here, and the one who will fit the type, because, for example, I can both dance and sing, but my singing is not so great. There are guys who just sing great. I think they will choose from both sides. And I will not be upset if I do not pass. I will be happy from the fact that I took part here and that I spent a week here. So in the fall of 2018, the casting was announced. The organizers invited young people who can sing, dance, charge the audience with their charisma to work in a new musical. The idea of the play belongs to the famous theater actor and director Anton Mitnev. And yes, 5,000 applications were received in just a few days from all over Kazakhstan, and only 100 people had the opportunity to get into the famous 30 in order to tell the story of the famous Almaty city of the 1980s and the 1990s of the last century on the stage, to show the life and mentality of Almaty people back then. Everyone has a dream, and there are 2 best friends. This is Mukhtar and Vovka. And of course, there is love and self-sacrifice, when one must give away. And he doesn't just give away, but he does everything for others. And then the 1990s, which greatly changed not only the country, but also people, their priorities. Each one was for himself. And who in the end turned out to be hero? The one who went along the curve, but sacrificed himself for the sake of something. Or the one who remained faithful to his ideals, not sacrificing anything, and sort of broke the mold. But how did he break the mold? This is also a question. These are the questions we're trying to raise in our play. Raise them not only through drama, but also through acting and beautiful music. The script of the play for the musical was written by Anton himself, but for a long time he was looking for a title for the future performance. As a result, it was decided to name the play Three Houses with Windows to the Courtyard. And here is why.
Алмата — город контрастов, но и в то же время это такая душа, и это тот уют, когда вот окнами во двор, вот сюда.
Almaty is a city of contrasts, but at the same time it has a soul. And there is a specific comfort in having your windows facing the courtyard, because it's the yard that makes us all, who live in apartments, who we are. And we are losing it slowly because of gadgets and short attention span. And you want to say without any pathos that there are heroes here, young people, your parents are also heroes of their time, and then their feelings were more interesting and complex. That's the story in which there is a moment of self-sacrifice, of true love and true friendship, the moment of choice where men behave like men, where women are not superficial. Those real and good relationships collide and give birth to something new. And somehow they're modified in those tricky 1990s. And then we somehow splash out in the early 2000s.
Рождают что-то новое, и как-то они видоизменяются в тех каверзных 90-х. И потом мы как-то выплескиваемся в нулевые.
Anton Mitnov invited truly great professionals to his grandiose project, including well-known musician and composer Ilyas Autov, actor and director Dmitry Skirt, choreographer Konstantin Dikhnov, and many others. As the saying goes, from the heart. As one person said, if something is done with a soul, it cannot but work. And here a lot of soul is invested. And I think that this will find a response in the souls of even the most sophisticated viewer.
Мы попытались это все поставить на такие очень хорошие рельсы.
We tried to pull all this on good rails. We have great graphics. There will be a maximum immersion when there are eyes around the actors' perimeter screens and the grid on which is a separate projection falls. And the actor is inside the drawn scenery.
Оказывается внутри нарисованных декораций.
Anton Mitnov perfectly understands that the decision to entrust the performance on the stage to people practically from the street is a big risk. But this is a fascinating risk because he and his friends take these people into a team of professionals and will make them real stars. You discover some things for yourself that really only non-professionals can cause such emotions, which sometimes even professionals cannot do. And this is very cool. We have very talented people, and it works. And then the moment X came, when the names of the lucky ones were announced, who now are faced with a pleasant and difficult task at the same time. I really want to realize my creative potential, and now the result was announced that I passed. These are just incredible emotions. This is a real buzz, and besides fatigue, I feel the grace and happiness that I was accepted, and I will participate in such a big project. For 2 years now, I have been dreaming and imagining that I climb the table, spread all my papers, and start to dance and sing. It was always in my head, and it turned out that all this could happen in real life. It's nice to feel involved in something unusual here in Kazakhstan, in Almaty, because this is the first rock musical, especially with the original script, written specifically for this production. Well, to work with such professionals is just a great experience. Actually, I never danced, and I started to sing very recently, and I wondered if I would pass or not. And when I came to the casting, something sank in me, and I wanted to try. When I passed the first, second, then the third rounds, then in the last round, I just couldn't give up. I tried, I worked very hard, and I will still work on myself and go on stage and play my part. While the musical genre as a direction of theatrical art is just beginning to gain momentum both in Kazakhstan and throughout Central Asia, And I would like to wish 3 Houses with Windows to the Yard to become a successful and popular project, and all aspiring artists involved in the project convinced us that dreams can come true.
Ну вот и все.
That's all for today. The time of our program has come to an end, but I do not say goodbye to you. Until next time.
Встречи в эфире.